God damn, bro. Bunch of fucking assholes, man. I don't know, man. I just think people think such short term. It's like this team is not allowed to have one bad stage. A team that just won a world championship is not allowed to have a single bad stage without the world calling for a roster change. At what point do you guys let a team be a team? When I say you guys, I'm talking to everybody that's talking like this. At what point do you guys allow a team to be a team and try and work through a bad stint? At what point is that acceptable? I want to once again use the LA Thieves from Vanguard. 0-12 map count is crazy? Brother, LA Thieves and Vanguard were winless for an entire stage. They stuck, and then they won back-to-back tournaments, including Call of Duty champs. It's really bad. Nobody's saying it's good. You think I'm going to sit here and tell you the sky's blue? Obviously, the team is playing like my ass right now. But at what point is the team allowed to try and work through it before everybody's calling for a roster change? Kenny's been struggling all year. Thanks, guys. I don't have eyes. I know, man. I'm not going to sit here and lie. I'm sure he knows, too. Any player that's not playing well knows that they're not playing well. And I promise you, just like Krim said on the podcast, nobody wants to play better than that individual himself, whether it be Kenny, Shotzi, Dashy, Simp, whoever. I promise you it affects them more than it affects you guys. But at what point do we allow a team to actually try and work through a bad stint, let players improve? It's like, I just think calling for roster changes, don't get me wrong, it's different if a team's ceiling is like top 8 or top 6. It's a world championship roster. And I don't think anybody that you can bring in right now that I can think of raises the ceiling. The ceiling is a world championship roster. I don't know, man. I just think, it's just the state of Call of Duty these days. A team can't even have a single bad stage. But they are getting dogged, man. Hey, thanks, fuckface. We don't know. Obviously, brother. We know. We know they're getting shit on. They know it. Everybody knows it. But all I'm saying is at what point, yes, 0-12 is crazy work. We all agree. We all agree. We all agree that obviously the team is not playing well. But you can't blame a world championship roster for trying to work through it. That is option number one. And once that fails, once they try and work through it, and if they can't work through it, then maybe you'd see a roster change. But I just don't understand. It's one thing if this team has only ever placed top 8 or top 6. It has never broken into the top 3 or top 2. It's a world championship roster, man. At some point, you got to actually let this team try and work through it and respect the fact that they are a team that wants to work through it. There's loyalty there, right? Like, if anything, there should be some level of respect. And trust me, you guys don't need to tell me that Kenny's not playing well. You don't need to tell me that this player is not playing well. I know. How long do you give them? That's not for me to decide. I mean, I think you guys seriously underestimate the thinking capability of the roster and how smart these players actually are when it comes to Call of Duty. I just hope the team comes around and wins the major. What did Den say? If this happened until Major 3 lands, sound the alarm bells. Form always has valleys and peaks. Unfortunately, all of them are going through that stage. Usually only 1 or 2 have that valley, and it's salvageable. Math says a couple or a few will start hitting that stride again. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's because I've been around so long, and I'm just not so... I just understand that these things happen, even to the best teams. Like, these things genuinely happen. Teams play like shit. Players play like ass. I'm not going to sit here and say it's good or that I like what I'm seeing, but I at least respect the fact that a team wants to work through it and prioritizes working through it and getting better together rather than making a roster change that fast just because the world is telling them that they need a roster change. That's basically my full opinion on it. You are smoking tar, bro? Well, let me just tell you something in the most honest way I can. You don't know more than me, so you can't tell me I'm smoking tar because I'm a 10-year, multiple-time champion professional. That is why you can't tell me I'm smoking tar. It's because I know more than you, and I hate to tell it to you like that. It's just an unfortunate fact that you're going to have to come to reality with. So be consistent with your takes, Zinni. I am consistent with my takes. I was also not calling for a FaZe roster change when FaZe was shitting the bed in the beginning of the year, when the whole world is like, the trio needs to split off and do all this. I think the boys should experiment with Ken on an all-time sub, dude. I think I think Ken looks a lot more comfortable with an SMG in this game. I think Ken right now looks a lot more comfortable with an SMG in his hands. I'm not sure why that is. I mean, thinking back to like World War II Ken and Vanguard Ken, like, you know, on the SMG, he's gross.